What if you have learned to chase the external based on what it is that you've learned to believe that that external will bring you in terms of self-worth? This video you can consider a detox, you can consider a release, you can consider a letting go, right? One of the coolest things that I've learned on my journey of healing as I do the work is to bring my sense of self-worth back to myself and see it as intrinsic rather than tying it to things and people out there. How many people out there tie their self-worth to a position or a thing or a person because they've learned to believe that that will bring them more self-worth, right? We chase labels, we chase maybe universities, we chase a potential marriage with somebody because we've learned to believe that that's where our worth lies. Doesn't that get exhausting though? And how often is it that, like, okay, maybe we do get that person or that thing, right? But then isn't it like, if not immediately, almost immediately, the next thing to bite into? I want to explore releasing and letting go here. And the practice of just seeing everything for what it is and helping people to understand that extrinsic self-worth is not only an illusion, but it's an exhausting game. Because once you get the one thing, then it's the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And you're just chasing, you're just endlessly chasing, right? Some people, and I would argue many people, maybe even more people than not, live this way, right? But see, the thing is, it's an unstable way of living because, one, it's not accurate to who we are as people. This is for the people that were raised to believe that they needed to do something specifically to be worthy, rather than learning that their worth is actually intrinsic, right? Imagine the amount of weightlessness you would feel if you untied your sense of self-worth to everything out there. Maybe you wake up on a daily basis and you're so stressed, you're so worried, you're so attached to things out there. And it's not good or bad or right or wrong. You can absolutely continue to do that if that's what you choose to do, if that's what you want. It's entirely up to you. But the more that I grow, the more I evolve, the more I heal, the more I realize how stressful it is to live with what is actually intrinsic, extrinsic. It's exhausting. At least in my opinion, it is. Chasing one thing after another, tying your worth, holding on to somebody and something so anxiously because of how much it means to you. Meaning plays a big part here. The meaning that we attach to someone or something, the meaning that we associate with someone or something, what it means to us. Tying your self-worth to somebody or something because it means something. All the while, the meaning has been either unconsciously or subconsciously created by you. What does it really mean for you to be attached to this person? What does it really mean for you to be attached to this thing out there, right? Does having it mean that you're worthy to you? Does losing it mean that you are worthless? This is the necessity of letting go, of tying self-worth to the external, and understanding that nothing out there, it doesn't matter what it is or what meaning you've attached or ascribed to it, can make you any more worthy than you already are. And I understand that what I'm saying here can make you look at me and say, Chris, this is ridiculous. All of these things I need in my life because they make me worthy. I understand. I understand. Again, there's no pressure to be anybody other than who you are being right now. You get to choose that for yourself. That's the beauty of autonomy. All that I am doing here is offering my business card, invisible business card, of exiting the Matrix. I am Morpheus. I'm just kidding. You are Neo. Would you like to wake up? Would you like to wake up from the drunken, unnecessarily intoxicating slumber that you are drowning in of attachment to the external for self-worth? How far down into the rabbit hole would you like to go? There is depth, and when you finally dive deep into it enough, you're going to be like, whoa, I'm free. Extrinsic self-worth is a completely exhausting game, and you might not know how tied to it you are until you see it for what it is. You might also not know how much of an illusion it is until you see it for what it is. Healthy self-worth is intrinsic, and it is not moved by anything out there, and it is entirely determined by self, right? Extrinsic self-worth, this game of chasing, is exhausting. It is endless. It is one thing after a fucking another. It will stress you out, and it's just not necessary. So if you'd like to, we can work on letting go of the extrinsic, let go of attaching self-worth to the extrinsic. And I invite you to just consider what a life would be like. This is all gentle, by the way. There's no pressure here at all. I just know that it's an exhausting game to continue chasing the external, to tie your sense of self-worth to the external, and to believe that that's all that there is for you, and that you've got to do all of these exhausting, stressful things to be worthy. So however you wish to approach this, it's entirely up to you. But just understand that you can let go, and you can bring all of your energy back to yourself and into your body. You're welcome to have your eyes closed right now. You're welcome to have them open. This is a process of untying, identifying meaning, and understanding that you're free. And understanding as well that choosing to chase anything in the external is a choice. Power cannot be taken. It can only be given. Do you believe that your worth is something that can come and go away? Do you understand the back and forth exhausting game of chasing things out there that are finite and that will most definitely leave you feeling either worthy or worthless? Do you believe that life is supposed to be a game of ups and downs? I want you to consider questioning everything that you believe to be true about yourself, about worth, about how you're supposed to approach life. That you're only worthy if you do these things. Do you believe that? What is true? Who are you without all of these things that you've tied yourself to out there? Feel free to close your eyes. Breathe. Be connected to this moment. Be connected to your inner universe, whatever it is that your mind is saying. Be connected to my words. I invite you to be connected to my words. What do you wake up on a daily basis and choose to do Do you actually want to do it? Do you only do it because you believe that if you don't do it, you won't be worthy? Have you considered setting healthy boundaries? Have you considered individuating, setting yourself up with your own sense of autonomous identity that is separate from the people that you were raised with? Thoughts, opinions, feelings. Have you considered differentiating? Really taking the time to understand the difference between self and other, and the boundaries that lie in intersubjective spaces between I and thou, between self and other. Are you aware that between every interaction, whether it's you and another person, or you and a thing, an inanimate object, there are boundaries? Where do you begin and where do you end? Have you tied your sense of self-worth to any individual out there? Do you believe that you're only worthy if you are tied to them? Do you believe that you would be worthless if they left you? Do you believe that if you tie your sense of self-worth to an object that is out there, you'll be worthy? Maybe it's a car, maybe it's a house, whatever it is. Do you believe that all of a sudden you would be worthless if you no longer had it? I want you to identify the meaning that it has in your life, whether it be a person or a thing, and how maybe you've been conditioned to create meaning around this thing, this person that spells out worth for you. And the second that you lose it, you're all of a sudden worthless. Do you see the unhealthy instability of that dynamic? I understand that there might be resistance here. I invite you to sit inside of that resistance, if you're comfortable with doing so, and allow it to dissolve and dissipate and see it for what it is. It's not good or bad or right or wrong, but you may have been raised by people that are mentally and emotionally unstable and insecure, and taught you to tie your worth to people and things. By all means, you have free will, free human agency. You are an autonomous individual. You are allowed to continue living that way if you so choose to. But I invite you to consider diving into this space of conscious self-awareness and understand that healthy self-worth is inside of you, and it is entirely determined by you. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about letting go of the external, whether it's a person or a thing? This game of worth that you've taught that when you get it, you have it, you're really holding on to it anxiously, you're all of a sudden worthy. Oh great, now I have to stay anxiously attached to this thing in hopes that I don't lose it. Crap, I lost it. I'm worthless. I invite you to look at that for what it is. Look at that game of instability that is the externalized self-worth. I invite you to consider letting go of it. You don't have to. That's the beauty of this. You are an autonomous individual with free human agency. You can do absolutely whatever the fuck it is that you want to do. But I invite you to see the instability that is the ups and downs of the game of extrinsic self-worth. And I invite you to consider intrinsic self-worth. One of them is unstable. The other one is consistent. One of them is intermittent. The other one is static. One of them is determined by the external. The other is determined by self. It's entirely up to you.